Just when I think this city cannot get any more woke, it goes and proves me wrong. So this video's been doing the rounds on social media. It's produced by one of the many public funded ideology firms, the Youth Affairs Council of Victoria. I've looked a bit further into them to understand their funding and what they actually do. Let's look at the video first. It's progressivism on steroids. Hey, masks are cool and normal. It starts with a typical hypnotic, upbeat, simple piano riff to communicate that this is a positive message. It's going to make you feel really good inside and it's going to secure the trust of the viewer.
So, now lockdown's over, should we go out and do something on the weekend?
I mean, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out.
Oh, that is true. Should we 10 a.m.
Northland? Great idea.
Kids, have you tried same-sex relationships yet? Remember, rainbow flag means good. If you disagree, then you're a bad person. Love is love, get it in your head, bigot.
Hey, 2 see Spider-Man, please.
I was surprised that they were so calm about seeing Spider-Man. I expected them to start having a panic attack, point out the heteronormative, patriarchal stereotypes and the need to provide better role models for young boys, girls, pansexual, inter-binary twinks.
Sure thing. Can I just see your vaccination certificates first, please?
Of course. Here you go.
Vax passports, this is all normal, get the message.
My parents haven't let me get vaccinated yet.
I mean, you're over 14. You don't actually need to get their permission.
I don't?
Want to go do it now? Go on a vax day?
That sounds fun.
Cool, let's go.
Then the shame of not being vaxxed. But hey, you're 14, you can decide for yourself. Don't tell your parents. Remember, this is taxpayer funded.
Hi darling, ready for your vaccine today? Yeah, can I just see your arm? Thank you. All time.
See, that wasn't too bad, was it?
No, thank you.
I'm away in the waiting room, and if you have any issues, here you go. Make sure you see you next appointment.
What demented lunacy this is. Now, I was probably a progressive once, not even that long ago. If someone 10 years ago had told me that we were on a path to a scenario like this, I'd have called them a crazy right-wing nutjob. But it's never going to come to this. Love is love, blah 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 blah. So I've looked closer at the mob behind this, the Youth Affairs Council of Victoria. In 2020, this organisation's total income was over 4.2 million. Of that, 3.8 million was secured from government grants. Employee costs were over 2.8 million. I was keen to find out the salaries of the staff, especially the CEO, but I didn't have any luck with that. I did find a policy officer role advertised. A nice, comfy, stress-free job returning over 70 grand a year, plus fantastic benefits. I also come across an old COO advert from 2017 which indicates an industry salary at level 7 but also states they pay beyond that industry minimum, which blows this paper-pushing bureaucrat above 6 figures according to that standard. And that's before you take into consideration all the extra benefits. And so what do? They reel off a list of achievements in the annual report. Stuff that sounds good on the surface as long as you don't give it a second thought. As part of their rural projects, they proudly reported that 4 online rural huddles were held, and they got 300 new subscribers to their newsletter. They're going to end youth homelessness in Victoria. Call me cynical, but I've seen these empty statements enough times to know that they'll drop this cause in a few years in favour of something new, only to pick it up again a few years after that when they need a fresh angle for their funding bid. Every disabled person must be pushed into leadership roles. The year was 2081 and everybody was finally equal. There are so many organisations like this in Victoria. For some of the employees, it's a comfy job with decent salary and benefits, in exchange for limited effort on their part. I'm sure many of them are well intentioned and even believe they are providing a valuable service, that they are some sort of saviour to the poor and helpless. What should be concerning to us all is the hidden function these groups are performing in society. I mean, it could be argued that these functions are more of an unconscious side effect, though it's entirely plausible that they are an intended consequence. perhaps only known to the most senior employees or those outside of the organisation, the ones who are ensuring funding and pulling the strings. These groups, who are generously funded by the taxpayer, churn out pure ideology and ram it into youngsters' heads, ensuring that fresh stocks of Labour and Greens voters are being produced, at our expense and with no fair counter-argument being permitted. The state has taken ownership of your children, and many parents are gleefully allowing this to happen. They are taking control of your kids through powerful propaganda and nonsensical slogans designed to manipulate the mind to reject anything which questions the ideology. It's all delivered under the guise of niceness and progressivism. You want to critique them? Then you must be some sort of racist, homophobe, sexist, Nazi fascist, trans hate type person. Don't be fooled. These are not the wholesome organisations they make themselves out to be. This is nothing new. We were warned decades ago.
Replace traditionally established institutions and organizations with fake organizations. Take away the initiative from people. Take away the responsibility from naturally established links between individuals, group of individuals, and society at large, and replace them with artificially, bureaucratically controlled bodies. Instead of social life and friendship between neighbors, establish social workers institutions. The people who are on payroll of whom? Society? No. Bureaucracy. The main concern of social workers is not your family, not you, not social relations between groups of people. The main concern is to get the paycheck from the government. What will be the result of their social work doesn't really matter. They can develop all kinds of concepts to show to the government and to the people that they're useful. The process starts when the legitimate bodies of power, the social structure collapse. It cannot function anymore. So instead, we have artificial body injected into society, such as non-elected committees. You remember I was talking about them here. Social workers who are not elected by people, media who are self-appointed rulers of your opinion, some strange groups which claim that they know how to lead society forward. They don't usually. All they care is how to collect donations and sell their own concocted ideology, mixture of religion and ideology.